welcome to the Jerusalem Connection Red Alert Report for Wednesday, May 18. I'm Amy Zawi. Not just a rise, but the acceptance of antisemitism. What can we do about it? College campuses and the community at large is increasingly accepting and even promoting of anti-Semitic sentiments. We are also seeing this in curriculums and textbooks, even down to the elementary school age. Raising a generation to believe that vilifying Jews or Israel is in any way acceptable and even noble, well, that's pure evil. As Christians and Jews and any people who seek truth and justice, we must be first in line to teach our children what truth is and make sure they are armed against false teachings that end up in their classrooms, within their school clubs, and even from various pulpits. I saw a post on Aish.com that truly encapsulates the viciousness and reach of anti-Semitism in our world and our history. Aish is a Jewish organization founded in 1974 in Israel by Rabbi Noah Weinberg and 5 students to inspire people to live more thoughtful, spiritual, and impactful lives, learning through and sharing timeless Jewish wisdom. The organization certainly was not a website or a Facebook page at the time, but now it is, and it articulates pithy sayings and teachings and insights available at our fingertips. Using Torah principles and recognizing godliness is something we can all seek. The site provides unique perspectives about life in general, as well as issues and events in history, including current events. Just this week, I found the following post, and its author was not attributed. However, I find it the best summary of what Jewish people around the globe face. It's illustrative of the world's constant seeking to destroy God via his people, whether the world recognizes this fact or not. In capitalist countries, they hate us because we're communists. In communist countries, they hate us because we're capitalists. When we're rich, they hate us because we have all the money. When we're poor, they hate us because we're flea-ridden vermin. When we live in ghettos, they hate us because we're clannish and keep to ourselves. When we assimilate, they hate us because we're trying to infiltrate and corrupt the dominant culture. When we live among the nations, we're accused of plotting world domination. When we live by ourselves, we're called Zionists, colonialists, occupiers, and oppressors. We're the only people accused of killing God. Although that doesn't make sense, because if we were really able to kill God, imagine what else we could do. Obviously, if everything, no matter how contradictory or absurd, is a reason to hate Jews, then it's not really a reason. It's an excuse. If you're Jewish, somebody hates you. Anti-Semitic persecution is such a common characteristic of Jewish history that the Torah in Leviticus 26 describes it like this: "And those of you who survive in the land of your enemies, I shall make so faint-hearted that if leaves rustle behind them, they will flee headlong as if from the sword, though no one pursues them. So helpless will you be to take a stand against your foes. You will perish among the nations, and the land of your enemies will consume you." So let's catalog where campus life and anti-Semitism are manifested. These are just a few examples of many. University of California, Riverside, the student government passed a BDS resolution, boycott, divest, and sanction, and Jewish students mobilized quickly to censure the vote. The measure demanded that Israel be recognized as an apartheid state and treated as such, and that all study abroad programs remove Israel as a destination. In Melbourne University in Australia, that student body passed a boycott Israel measure in April. Young law students working pro bonos are filing a case against the measure, including noting that it is against the purview of that student body to even make such a resolution, and they're gathering signatures for a class action lawsuit. At prestigious Duke University, this great article catalogs what went on during April's Apartheid Week. Duke student government spent $16,000 on the event to host El Kurd, who received a $5,000 stipend. He was allowed on campus, invited and paid, and bellowed to the community about Palestinian liberation. The audience cheered. He said, "We want our land back from the Jordan River to the Mediterranean Sea." When he was asked what would happen to the 7 million Israelis who live on most of that land, El Kurd replied, "I don't care. I truly, sincerely don't give a blank." Hooting, laughter, and thunderous applause followed from the students. In the United Kingdom, University of Leeds, the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism group, CAA, identified a professor with a long history of tweets that violate the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism, which the university has claimed to adopt. As of April, the university notes that they received the letter of complaint, but no action has been taken. No comment has been issued by either the university or the professor. This article that I share with you here reports on the particular tweets in question. A university professor at the University of Illinois and legal scholar called out his own university's participation in anti-Semitism and provides a brief but effective overview of how it is leaching anti-Semitism into the American academy and the levels that it has been ongoing for years, with warnings by many. Harvard University has been in the news, at least the news I follow, for months now, because of its unchecked anti-Semitism, manifested lately within the student body. A poorly researched Harvard Crimson article, a student newspaper, championed the cause of BDS, boycott, divest, and sanction, and anti-Zionism, with only one lone editor voicing dissent, and she got a lot of blowback. Thankfully, over 70 Harvard professors formally signed a letter admonishing the article and its sentiments and identifying the anti-Semitism of BDS and how Harvard's participation is not acceptable. I'm glad to see professors standing up for justice, but how wonderful would it be for students and teachers to simply get back to studying their disciplines? And why are so many students entering these prestigious colleges so ignorant of modern history or even history over the last 100 years? Many more issues have gone on very recently, including the University of Washington and more. I invite you to read about the occurrences and reporting in any of the articles I shared with you here. As well, if you're on Facebook, consider following the group Anti-Semitism, Anti-Zionism on campus, University, Free Speech, and BDS. This feed is a great resource of what is going on in colleges, universities, and K-12 schools around the world. So what do we do about it? The Jerusalem Connection has the mission to help offset this bad narrative one student at a time by offering a scholarship to an American student to study in Israel at Hebrew University for one full semester. This experience will allow the student to immerse him or herself within the culture and society of Israel, including all its diversity and openness to international visitors. This is not a vacation or a mission trip. Students take courses that align with their major, and in doing so learn the truth about Israeli society and bring that truth back to their home campuses. This experience will allow students to have a first-hand account of life in Israel, as well as foster lifelong advocates for Israel and the Jewish people. Consider a one-time or recurring donation to this ongoing fund. We are certainly willing to send more than one student at a time. Summer sessions are available as well. If you want to learn more about the program, donate online, or direct a student to apply for the scholarship, simply go to our website, go to projects, and choose the Hebrew University Scholarship from the drop-down menu. All the information you need is there, but you can always call us or email us to get more information. Shavua Tov, and have a great week.